welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy. And I'm going to apologize right off the bat. It sounds like the wind is going to blow my roof off. I'm hoping that my camera doesn't pick up a lot of it, but if you hear a lot of rumbling and rattling, oh my goodness, that is some windy wind out there. Today I am going to take you on a flip through of my journal that I made out of a little golden book, The Tale of Peter Rabbit. And this is in conjunction with Dear Julie Julie and I have it written over here, February Little Golden Book Junk Journal Challenge 2025. And I chose to make mine, like I said, out of The Tale of Peter Rabbit. And we had lots of things that we were required to make and to, I guess use would be the correct word. Some of those were digitals from Dear Julie Julie, and the ones that I used were Mama's Quilt, Raggedy Ann and Andy Quilt, Think Spring, Daisy Lines, Golden Floral, Little Linen ABC Book, Lavender Eclectic Background, Lace Grunge, various freebies, and maybe little bits and pieces. Let's see, Assorted Floral, little bits and pieces of other ones that, because I don't throw any of my digitals away from her because I really, really like them, and I save them in a file folder, I don't always have the name of it written down. And then I did use one digital from the Graphics Fairy to make one of the required elements that I didn't have on hand. So I will try as I go through to say, okay, this was an element or whatever, but if I don't think it's any big deal. You can just enjoy the flip through as it is. So one of the first things that we needed to do, well, not one of the first things we needed to do, but the first thing we come to is a fluffy tassel. And each of the things that you see in this tassel, I have also used in the journal just to keep some consistency going. And if you're going to do a journal with rabbits, you got to have some little bunny tail yarn, right? Another thing was to use candy wrappers, and I really, really like Ferrero Rocher chocolates. And so I made the sacrifice, and I'm having trouble getting my tassel to behave. And I ate a couple of them so that I could make this tag. Yes, that's candy wrapper. And I've embossed it onto just a piece of chipboard and put it on a bulb pin with a couple of little glassine beads and a Tim Holtz. Let's see, what is the name of that one? That one is Metallic. It's just Metallic Sticker Book. And it says Adventure Awaits. And that is on a bulldog clip. I knew I would get it sooner or later. All right, now, I really liked the little golden book spine right here, but I knew that I wasn't gonna be able to just keep it thin like that. And I have a link to this video showing you how I made this. I made my own little golden book spine, just so that it would be the same. I just like the look. I have my tie is going through there. I have a little piece of decorated paper with more of the candy wrapper and some stickers on the back covering up the UPC code because I didn't really think that added very much to the journal. I also put some little gold corner covers on. It is tied up with seam binding. I just used red, yellow, and blue because we were to use primary colors on several things in the journal, so I just kept that going. When you open it up, I kept this part of the book that this little golden book belongs to, and then I have a secondary cover inside. I used a gold Sharpie marker on a lot of the things, not all of them, I would say not even most of them, but a lot of them, just to keep that gold continuity going. And I have a lot of collages in here. If you see this gold, just know that it's a candy wrapper. And as usual, I am going to go ahead and pile my things over here to the side. Right here in this front is a double pocket. I love the bunnies. This is a ladybug card, and there's a reason for it. You're probably wondering what's a ladybug got to do with Peter Rabbit. Well, as we go through the journal, you will see lots of hidden ladybugs, and that's a hint. And then I have a third journaling card here. Again, it's collaged. This is a misprint of one of Julie's digitals where my whole print came out green and it was supposed to be pink and a blue and white. I don't know where the green came from because there's not really any green on there except for these little leaves. But I wouldn't have thought green would go in pink. I don't know. Oh, I probably ran out of pink. I probably ran out of magenta. Okay, there we go. And it has a little brad on it with ABC. The signatures are sewn in to a hidden spine. And then I have this fabric here with the bunnies and carrots that I've covered that up with. One thing we had to make was a page using a greeting card. Is that right? Yes. And so I had this greeting card. It was funny. And so I actually bound it to its envelope. This envelope flap is bent backwards, and then I bound the card to the envelope with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which is where that comes in. So that it opens and it opens. I have a pocket here that has a journaling card. Again, I have the gold border on there. This just opens up for writing space. And then here is a double tuck. These are game pieces from an antique because it is from like 1920. Uncle Wiggily board game. Another little journaling card. Here I have some more pom-pom trim and a journaling card. We were to use nursery rhymes, and even though this isn't about Peter Rabbit, it is about a little boy. It says, "Handy Spandy Jack-a-dandy loves plum cake and sugar candy. He bought some at a grocer's shop, and out he came, hop, hop, hop." And so I thought that the hop, hop, hop was appropriate. And I do have the entire story from the Little Golden Book in order, complete, inside this journal. Have a little collage up here, another one of the game pieces. In this pocket, I have 2 journaling cards that I've just collaged on. Those are old computer type cards. Got numbers down the side here. This may be a time clock card. This one's an old computer card. I have napkin applique in lots of different places in the journal. Here is a pocket, and this is a peekaboo because when you pull this out, there's a little bunny right there looking through the cellophane. Here I have an altered paper clip, and this opens up for journaling space, and then the edge of it just tucks right under that flap. I have a little label on there. This corner flips up and then flips up again. It's like a variation on a Rita Donnelly flip. And then when you turn the page, this flips up as well. This paper clip helps to keep all the flaps where they're supposed to be when when you're not using them. And then I have this journaling card tucked inside. We'll just put that back on there to keep everything how it's supposed to be going. Have a little collage up here with some fabric, some ribbon, a little gold safety pin with some beads on it. Has some staples, but you can't see them on the other side. Here's another collage. And I just have, I don't know what kind of card this is from. I got a whole stack of cards from somebody, and they were just like cut pieces of computer cards and punch cards, and I don't know what that one's from. But we have the little collage here. This is reverse stenciling, where I spray onto a stencil and then put it down onto the paper. And for this one, I used Distress Mica Stain in Winter Frost. I have a top pocket up here with another nursery rhyme. And then a journaling card. It's all collaged. This is some bubble. I used bubble wrap, but this was big fat bubble wrap. And then I spritzed, let's see, I think I used the Winter Frost again, and then this is still here, so I probably used the Wonderland for those, and just pressed the paper down onto it. You see some green in there. I tried doing it with an ink pad first. It didn't work very well. And then in the back, because these index cards, I think they're from the Dollar Tree, are really not very thick. They seem like they used to be thicker when I was in school. And then I just have some receipt papers tucked in there. And right here, it's talking about how Peter, who was very naughty, didn't do what his mom told him to and stayed away from the garden because Mrs. McGregor put their dad into a pie once. And that's how come he's not around in the story. But anyway, Peter's very naughty. And so I put, oh, little friend. Just because, well, here's the other side of the sentiment. Probably not a good idea. On this page, I also did some of the reverse stenciling. However, I did do this with the Peeled Paint Distress Oxide ink, and then I spritzed it with water, and that worked much better. And then this is some washi tape, because I had two of these sheets of paper together. A shaped page is one of the things we were required to have. We also needed to have ABCs. This is not my ABC page, but it is an ABC paper. And this I had left over after I cut it off of another piece. And so I thought I would just tuck it up there. It's got more of the candy wrapper on it. Along with this, more of the candy wrapper. I think that I used all of the candy wrappers. Nope, look here. That's all I didn't use out of, I think, 4 candy wrappers. I'll find some place to put that. I have some textured scrapbook paper here, and then here I have, there's a little ladybug hiding. All right, and here we had to use some flashcards, and so I made those into a page by putting them together, wrapping scrapbook paper around them, and gluing it down. And I've got a whale tail tab that has the gold Sharpie around it, some more napkin applique, some music with numbers because numbers was one of the things I had to do. And then you'll see a lot of these little circles punched out, and those are just from various bits and pieces of scraps that I like to put onto the ties. Here is my alphabet page, and then another little ladybug. Here's a journaling card, and here's another Uncle Wiggily playing card. Just tucks under that rickrack and into that little tiny paper clip. And then this piece of paper, pull it out, and you've got extra writing space. And then you can fold it back up and tuck it back in. Since this is a double pocket, it holds it nice and secure. I have little bits of lace this big long length of lace that I have that I've cut apart and put into different spots. Here is a flashcard that I've just made into a tab. It comes over onto the page, but it is just a tab. Here is a pocket, and I've just cut around some lace. This is from Julie's Lace Grunge. I added a doily, the backing for some drywall tape. This is a picture from a nursery rhyme book. And I have a couple more flashcards, and I've glued them together to make a journaling card. I have a little pocket here on the back with a little that I can't get a hold of. Well, it seems to be stuck. Let's just get it loose. May have put it in just a little too soon. Yep, there we go. It didn't even feel like it was stuck, just like it was jammed. Some journaling space on the back of that library card, and then also some hidden journaling space, because that just slides right up in there and you can write on it and then tuck it right back in. And it's hidden if you don't know about it. It just looks like a card. Yep, there we go. I was trying to go the wrong direction with it. Here I have another pocket. This is napkin applique and napkin applique with a doily, little ribbon, another Tim Holtz saying. This opens up for writing space, and then on the back there is another pocket or another journaling card. We needed to use coloring pages or line drawings. I made a tab out of this one. I went ahead and colored that one in myself, and then took a piece of the coloring page and glued it on the edge of that page. Here's another pocket with another Uncle Wiggily card. Here's a piece of that lace, and I used some liquid pearls in the center of that flower. Tucked inside, another ladybug. I've got little punched out flowers, napkin applique. And this says, help Uncle Wiggily by going along 2 hippity hops as you sing a song. And this is May song. And then I've got some extra pieces of paper for a notebook in there. Here is the ink pen. I like to include an ink pen in each of my journals, and I felt like this one really needed to be gold, with it being a little golden book. Here I have a belly band that actually wraps around the page and, goodness gracious, creates a tab right there. Here is a journaling spot that folds open, but then the tricky part is that sorry, my alarm went off telling me it's time for a meeting, but I need to finish this. And so you have this whole sheet of paper, and you can use every bit of it except for right underneath of that signature type. And then to close it back up, you simply fold it back into the thirds and tuck the bottom into the top. And then you can just close it just like that. I like it. I used my pinking shears a lot in here too. And so on the other side of that belly band, I have another journaling card. This has a tea bag on it, and it says, "A garden is a delight to the eye and a solace for the soul." Here, we were to make a bubble page, and I struggled. I tried blowing bubbles, and I thought, oh, that looks so pretty, and then it dried with no color, hardly at all. It's very, very pale blue, but it's got a lot of sparkle in it. So then I took some of both of these, I mixed them in this little bowl, and then I dipped my tube in there, and then I just put it down to the paper, and then I blew through it and actually got what looks like bubbles. And then I punched out a couple of circles from one of Dear Julie Julie's digitals and put them on there too, and painted around them with that same stain. And then I've got just a little bit of writing paper on there and liquid pearls in Night Sky right there. And then I've just folded it over, and the bubbles kind of came through on the back side, and that didn't hurt my feelings. I have some fabric tape going across the top of that writing paper. Here I have a double pocket. It's a double pocket because there's another page mirror image of this one in here, and it's primary colors. And in here I have, well, there's another ladybug, and this is some seam binding, the same seam binding that I'm using to tie it together. And then I punched out a couple of scallops. This is a journaling card, and plaid was one of our things, and I made my own plaid. I got my Joann's card and some acrylic paint in tubes and put it on the side, and then scraped it across the front. Then I took a Sharpie and a ruler and made my black lines, and then I took pops of color, and I think that this is in Snow. No, it's just white. Snow is the one that I almost used. And so it's textured right across there. And I've got, again, gold Sharpie and some gold washi tape and these little letters. And then another journaling card. This one has ABCs on one side and just like ledger paper on the back. We had to use a game piece, so I got one of my vintage, very vintage, I don't know how old it is, it's just really old, bingo cards, and added a ladybug and a little napkin applique on there. And then that opens up, so you've got all this space in here, and then folds back over. Here, he met a little mouse, and she couldn't help him because she had a big old pea in her mouth, and so she couldn't talk. So over here, I've got M, and this is for mug and mouse. And this is just a collage with doilies and rickrack and the digital all put together. Here is a pocket that I have this ball of yarn, and it looks like fur. It's not real fur, but it looks like bunny fur. It's super soft. I had to put it on there. And then this is the journal card that really didn't want to be a journal card because every layer I kept messing it up. I had this paper here from the beginning. I had the scrap left over, a scrap left over of it. And so I took a piece of it and I thought, oh, I'll just add a little something. Well, when I was getting ready to add a little something, I dropped it. Let's see, I can still see it back there. I know where it is. And so I thought, well, I can't use that now. I know, I've got tissue paper. I'll put that over it and it won't show. And I'm putting the tissue paper on it, and I glued a hair in there or a piece of fuzz or something. It was dark. And so I thought, well, I will probably just give up. No, I'll put some washi on there. And because I thought that the washi would cover it up, it was over at the edge. And so I was putting the washi on and it looked kind of weird. And so I added the gold. Let's see, no, that went the other way around. Yeah, I added the gold on there, and then I saw that I had a hair under the tissue paper, and so then I put the washi on. Well, the washi looked weird on the back, so I put a piece of writing paper on it. Oh my goodness. But you can still see the gold dots through there that it started with, which was my whole reason for using that paper. I've got a sticker and some fabric tape on here. This flips up, so you've got all that writing space. Here I've got another pocket. This is from a master board, and I've already shown you some things from the master board, which was another requirement. I have things that are just avalanching over here. And my book page was starting to tear a little bit, so I put some fabric tape on it and then added a piece out here to cover up a word that I didn't like. And then I made 2 journaling cards and added a piece of fabric that had the alphabet on it. More fabric tape, and then journaling space on the back of that one. Here I have used the candy wrapper on a piece of scrap paper that I had, that I added some washi tape and the gold Sharpie to. And then this is a coloring page that I just folded up and put in for you to use. And then I have black and white digitals on here, but I did come through with a gold marker and color in the centers of each of the flowers to match those daisies. I have an altered paper clip here with a little pom-pom on it. This is a napkin applique. This is a page from the book on a digital with some washi. And when you take off the paper clip, this flips down. And I feel like the rabbits are judging me because the nursery rhyme I used here was "Bye baby bunting, father's gone a-hunting to get a little rabbit skin to wrap his baby bunting in." So judgy. I guess I'd be judgy too. And that just helps to keep that little flap up right there. And then here, this pocket is the same as the other pocket. I've just added a tab and a piece of that lace. And then here's a journaling card, again with the gold edge. I thought that worked out nicely. Much nicer than the other one did. Here I just have a little collage up in the corner. This was fun. This was supposed to be a shaped, let's see, a shaped, what was it? A shaped embellishment. There we go. And I messed with this for a long time. What I have is a little piece of Velcro back here. And that opens up and opens up, and a little bit more Velcro, a little bit more Velcro, because then it opens up again all the way up to there, and it pulls down for all that writing space. Those 2 pieces of Velcro fasten together. That pushes down, and this laps over the top, and then there's another piece of Velcro that holds it together. I don't know if I would ever use that again, but I thought it was fun. Maybe I can figure out another way to use it. Here's another of our little clusters that we were to make. This was a Valentine. I didn't realize it was a Valentine. I pulled it out as a greeting card, and then it says something about Valentine on the inside, and I had already made my 2 Valentine things. So I just covered up the part that was talking about the Valentine. I punched some holes and ran some lace through. And then on the back, I added some writing paper, not wrapping paper, and added another of the lace flowers up there. And it's a floating pocket, and I forgot to put anything in the pocket. Let's see, do I have anything nearby? Here's that stack of cards that I was given that I don't know what they're from. Let's see. Let's do this dark green one. And it probably won't fit, and so it didn't matter that I just went through all that. Nope, it won't fit. So I'll have to make something to put in there. Anyway, it is a floating pocket. Here I made a pocket out of a library card pocket, except I didn't put it together the way that it would normally be put together. I glued one side on that side of the page, added the card, and added some fabric, another of the lace flowers with a little bit of the liquid pearls on it. And I have the same on there, the fabric. I have some rickrack, another napkin applique. And I have a little ABC book, and I stamped lines on it, and then I stapled it together. There's the staples. But then it's got a surprise, because I have a pocket in the middle with some extra writing paper on it. I actually only stapled through half of it, and then stapled through the other half, and then glued the center pages together to make a little pocket, a little surprise pocket. Then we turn the page, and here's what would be the back of the library card normally. I have a piece of scrapbook paper that I have mulberry paper and messy thread and sheet music paper and a little die cut on. And then I have some writing space on the inside. Here's the other side of the double pockets. Here's my Valentine with a piece of ribbon that looks like measuring tape. I've got dry cleaner sheet. Yes, dry cleaner sheet behind it that I cut around with the pinking shears, and some staples. And then these are little post-it notes that are on there. They're not glued on, so they're not permanent. They can be taken off and used. And then another piece of journaling card. A little cluster collage up here with a ladybug on it. Here's the other side of the bubble paper. This is fingerprint paper, finger painting paper. That was another one of the requirements. And so I finger painted with my acrylic paints. I don't have any finger paint. And then I added some drywall tape on it, some more of the seam binding, a digital, a ladybug, and then tucked in a card. This is the, let's see, it's Tired, and I think it's in French. And I put that in there because little Peter Rabbit is so tired that he fell asleep on the floor as soon as he came home. And then there's the other side of the bubble paper. And then here is another piece of my master board with another of the vocabulary cards. This one says family, and it creates a pocket over here. And it's another hidden journaling space. Just comes apart and slides back together. And again, I've used the Sharpie on there, the gold Sharpie. Here I've just pieced together a collage with one of the strips that I had used to cut the little circles out of, and backed it with another one, and then have the rickrack right there. Here is an illustration from one of the nursery rhyme books, and then another journaling card with the gold. Here I have made a writing board so that when you're writing, this is made from a little golden book back. When you're writing, you've got something flat to write on. And it's got a Chinese nursery rhyme on it about ladybugs. And there's another ladybug right there. And I've used washi tape and a different washi tape and a scrap of a digital, and and I have a little bit of, this is from scrapbook.com, and it's one of those sparkly like Spectrum Noir type markers, and so the water droplets look like they're glistening. And then in the back pockets, I don't have anything in that one, but I have another greeting card because I used all my greeting card stuff that I needed to. And I just thought the little bunny on there was cute and appropriate. And then that's it. Now, the reason I asked you to pay attention to all the ladybugs is I am going to give this to somebody. So what I want you to do is go through and count all the ladybugs. Now, not all the individual ladybugs on here, but all the little ones like this, and put what your number is in the comments below. And then on March, let's see, I'm going to say March 17th because I can remember that. It's my grandson's birthday. On March 17th, I will have a program that you can get on your computer, on your iPad. I'm going to have it randomly choose from the correct answers. And then that person will be the one who receives this journal. Like I said, remember, you are looking for, let me find one that's easy to see it on, the easiest to see it on. Here we go. Right there is the ladybug. Okay? We're going to go through, not we, you are going to go through. Well, I'm going to go through it too because I have to count as well. And however many ladybugs there are, put it in the comments. You might get to be the new owner of Peter Rabbit. Thanks for joining me today. And as always, be kind. Bye.